Hi, I'm Kalin. Get Comfortable is a collection of flash fiction that explores how characters reconcile past traumas and present identities. In the collection, I worked in the genres of psychological realism and horror. Get Comfortable joins an ongoing cultural conversation around alcoholism and verbal abuse that has been richly explored in literature and contemporary texts. My readings for this project included Her Body and Other Parties and In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, Spilled Milk by K.L. Randis, as well as The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. I've decided to depart from memoir and nonfiction to capture the unrealities of trauma as it is being experienced. Horror allows potential for emotion, particularly fear, as well as the feeling of unreality and disassociation. Fiction explores the unreality of our lives and what is in one's own mind. Characters struggle to make sense of their unreliable world rooted in their own experience as well as others, and hope to gain an understanding of themselves through a process inherently dependent on how they interpret their surroundings and others. My writing privileges lyrical language and includes detailed attention to the fictive dream. These flash fictions hope to reflect the experience of characters living with the particular stress of having an alcoholic family member and the ways that hope becomes cynical. These stories resist the idea that healing is a linear process. So I'm going to read from That House. I began to climb the hill to our apartment. Apartment is a generous description. Let me rephrase that. I began to climb the hill to our shoebox, our closet with a view, or we pay too much money for this place, but we get to slap San Francisco on the return address on our Christmas cards like it's a Gucci belt with Target jeans. It is cold, the kind of cold where you aren't quite sure if your thermal's wet from sea breeze and fog, or if your body has declared defeat and has decided to throw its hands in the air and say, I quit, this is above my pay grade, and begin the decomposing process by abandoning all liquids inside. Despite the cold and wet, I savored every step home. The brown and dull blue 3-story building came into view. The sign from my favorite restaurant, Mexican Grill, flashed with white LEDs in a greeting. My favorite because it is a Mexican restaurant in a Chinatown. I stopped to check my phone. I called the office to make sure there hadn't been a new case since I left 30 minutes ago. Amanda, my coworker, assured me that no one was going to call a divorce attorney at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. She told me to enjoy my weekend. Enjoy, right? I bit my nails with one hand, stuffed my phone in my pocket, and continued to trudge upwards. I opened the door to our 500 square foot studio apartment. From this spot, I had a bird's eye view of the entire place. A subtle gust of ocean breeze picked up my hair, blowing red in my peripheral, as if San Francisco was reminding me why we pay $2,000 a month. I kicked my boots off at the door, dropped my briefcase and raincoat where I stood. Noticed a bit of baby pink gel nail polish that was lifting at the cuticle and zeroed in on it, sending polymer shrapnel into the gaps between the fake wood floorboards in my peeling frenzy. I glanced at my wristwatch. I had exactly 1 hour until Zach would be home from happy hour. In a daze, I walked over to the stereo wedged in the space between the coffee maker and the refrigerator. The only free counter space available for a teal blue record player. I opened the cupboard above the player. I thumbed through the small stack of vinyl records next to the half-eaten package of Oreos and unopened jar of homemade marinara sauce. I picked out my favorite metal band, Bring Me the Horizon album, Sempiternal. I placed it on the black turntable a side up, then bellowing through the speakers at the top of the cabinet came. Can you hear the silence? Can you see the dark? In 5 long strides and 2 headbangs to the beat of the music, I was at the closet. I opened the door and stopped down to pull out the Target plastic drawer set buried at the bottom by coats and other mystery items blocking the single light hanging above. The drawer fell on me as I pulled with too much force. A white sweater fell onto my lap. More cream than white now with years, holes and loose seams here and there, but it still smelled like that house. Thank you.